You know how sometimes at the end of client sessions, you end up feeling like restless or uncomfortable or tense, or maybe you feel that way in anticipation of a client coming in? One of the things that can be going on here is that we are carrying our clients' experiences. For me, sometimes I know it's hard when the feelings that the client has are not really named, not really identified. So there's an underlying anger, or there's an ongoing sense of hopelessness that it's just kind of there and it kind of pokes its way in. Sometimes it's really right there, it's on the surface, and it is actually kind of barreling its way right through the sessions. We don't know how to catch it or how to get a word in edgewise or how to work with it. When I'm consulting with other therapists, I often will get questions like, what do I do with all of this anger that my client is throwing at me? Or how do I get rid of these feelings that I feel like I'm holding on behalf of my client? One of the ways to look at what we're talking about here is the idea of somatic countertransference. A key piece here is to recognize that this is normal. It happens to all therapists, regardless of whether you consider yourself a somatic practitioner or not. Somatic countertransference is actually really helpful. It's not something that's bad. It's not something that we've done wrong. It's not something that's a problem with the way that our clients are coming in. It's just what happens in our own bodies in response to what's happening in the work with our clients. Sometimes it's going to be what we're picking up from our clients. Sometimes it's going to be what gets triggered in us. I personally feel like curiosity is one of the most valuable tools I have when I can pay attention to how I'm feeling about an upcoming session or what's happening during a session or what just happened after a session. This might give me some clues about what's going on with me or what's going on with the client or where we're at in the work overall. I might want to take a pause and just take a deep breath. Could even do that while I'm listening to a client or moving with a client, working with a client. By paying attention to my own experience, I have more options at my disposal. I might actually use what I'm experiencing to help me shape the way that I'm going to interact with my client or the intervention that I'm going to offer. It might help me reflect on the client work between sessions or even with a consultant. It might be that I just recognize that I'm getting wrapped up in something that would benefit from me sort of stepping back, taking some space around. And one of the most important things for me is to recognize that I need to take care of my own body. So if I'm feeling tense or jittery after session, I need to do something with that energy. I need to shift my own nervous system state. I need to do some shaking or get outside. I need to recognize and bring some self-compassion to what my own experience is so that I can kind of reset both for myself and for my next client. This is a big topic. There's a lot to explore here. I hope that this little bit gives you some food for thought, some new ideas. And I'd love for you to join in by adding comments or joining the chat and really digging into some of this. So let me know what you think. Let me know what your questions are, and let's keep talking.